Hello guys, my name is Kip Dungeon, and in today's video we'll rank every single non-unique crossbow. So all crossbows that are only in common and in rare rarity from worst to best. If you like this ranking, consider to like and subscribe, and let's get into things. So at number 11 we got heavy crossbow. So, well, the thing is, I was thinking what to put on the last spot on this list because crossbow is my favorite type of ranged weapons in Minecraft dungeons, so I don't think any of them are very bad, but there is one that I don't like the most, and this is the heavy crossbow. So the thing with heavy crossbow is that it has a very slow fire rate that I don't like with crossbows, because if you choose a crossbow as your main range weapon, you want it to have high fire rate, and what comes with it, a little lower damage. And the heavy crossbow is actually the opposite of it. It's slow, it shoots slow, it has a very high damage, and I think no one really uses it, because why you don't choose a bow instead? It does the same thing, but better, because you can choose from various bows. If you want me to rank every bow, leave a comment. I will probably do it in the future. So that's all I can say about a heavy crossbow. I would choose a bow instead of it. Okay, so at number 10 we got the first, I think actually good crossbow. So it's the soul crossbow. And the gimmick of a soul crossbow is that when you kill a mob, you got +1 soul. And I consider that being not very useful for all the players, because not everyone uses artifacts that needs souls. I think for some people this crossbow is actually useless, like maybe not the crossbow but its special ability, so that's why it's so low in the ranking. I think there are some people that base their PvE, on soul-based artifacts, and in a situation like this, I think the soul crossbow is a go-to weapon. Okay guys, so before number 9 I will say, well, every crossbow that is above the 10th place is actually a good crossbow, and I can see someone using it as their main crossbow. So at number 9 we got just the casual crossbow. Well, what I can say about it, it gets the job done. Decent fire rate, decent damage, and it was funny because when I was checking wiki, I actually realized that it has better damage than many crossbows that have super trash special abilities, so that's why I choose crossbow above some crossbows like the heavy or soul crossbow. So at the 8th spot we got the harpoon crossbow. The ability of harpoon crossbow is that you can shoot in wind and in water, because for example in water, when you shoot a normal crossbow, your arrows will be very slow and very weak. So I can see a usage of a harpoon crossbow in some levels, but overall in just normal gameplay it's not very useful. It's just a normal crossbow. That's why it's so low on the list. Alright, so at number 7 we got another, I think, a decent crossbow, and is the shadow crossbow. So a gimmick or a ability of a shadow crossbow is that if sometimes when you kill a mob, you get a shadow form effect. And honestly, I don't think a shadow form effect is very useful, especially in combat. I can see a usage when you are fighting with melee weapon and you hit those criticals because of you leaving the shadow form, but I don't really see a usage with range attack. Even with those critical shots, you just attack one enemy at a time, so it can be good only, I think, in boss fights. I can see it, but still it doesn't change the fact that the shadow crossbow is not very good. And at the number 6 we got what I name a first step of actually good fire rate crossbows, and these are of course the dual crossbows. So as you can see with this ranking, I base my opinion about crossbows on their fire rate mostly and their abilities. So the dual crossbows ability is that it shoots basically a 2 arrows burst. I can consider it actually very useful, especially when you combine it with some enchantments that boost your fire rate. It's a decent pair of crossbows that are useful especially in boss fights, so you are not so crazy if you use them as your main weapons. But there are some crossbows that I think does the same thing as dual crossbows, but much better. And so at the number 5, we got cog crossbow. So honestly, I think it's the most forgettable weapon in this tier list because I totally forgot it exists. I had to check wiki to actually know what this crossbow does, and if I understand it correctly, it sometimes shoots 5 arrows at once, 1 to 5 arrows. So that's a good step forward for a good fire rate and good damage. But still, I think there is a one weapon that does the same thing, but much better. And of course, it's a burst crossbow at my number 4 on this list. So the burst crossbow, its ability is that it shoots a burst of 3 projectiles, and actually, I love it. It has a decent fire rate, I think good damage. I can actually see me using this weapon as my main, especially if you combine it with some enchantments that actually boosts the fire rate more. Well, that's a go-to weapon for me, but maybe not as much as some of the crossbows in my top 3. So let's get into things. In my third spot on this list, I chose the exploding crossbow. So the ability of exploding crossbow, as you can figure out by its name, is that it shoots exploding projectiles, and it's so high on this list because I can see it very useful in fighting huge wave of enemies, huge wave of, for example, zombies like this, minions, just casual minions. You can just crush the whole army of normal enemies. That's why this crossbow is so high on this list. Especially if you combine it with good enchantments, it can be your main crossbow. Okay, so at the number 2 spot on this list is a crossbow that I think I can honestly swap places with exploding crossbow because I think they're both equally good. I think the exploding crossbow is good for waves of many enemies, and the rapid crossbow that is on my second spot on this list is good for fighting few but strong enemies because of its fire rate. So because I found myself sometimes throwing my enemies away from the arena with a crazy fire rate of 5 shots per second. Yes, this crossbow is extremely fast, and if you match it with, I think it was acceleration enchantment, I think it was its name, the enchantment that makes your crossbow faster the more you attack, I think it's the best, it's one of the best crossbows to fight bosses and strong enemies. But there is one crossbow I think is useful in many more ways, and this is the crossbow on my number 1 spot on this list, and of course it's the scatter crossbow. The scatter crossbow's ability is that it shoots 3 arrows at once, so it's basically a Minecraft multi-shot enchantment on a crossbow. So yeah, you can say, well, what's so good about it? It's just 3 arrows, not even shooting in a straight way. So I found it very useful when combining it with some good enchantments like poison clouds or any enchantment that deals area damage. It just shreds any wave of mobs that you can find in game. I also find it very useful in like this mid-range fighting with boss, when you can shoot all of the 3 arrows that you shoot every time at one target. So yeah, I think it's the perfect crossbow in this game. I use it most of the time, especially in the last level of the base game for those huge waves of pillagers. Alright folks, that was my ranking about crossbows in Minecraft Dungeons. I hope you liked it, and for my last words in this video, I want to say sorry about my pronunciation and stuff like that, because English is not my main language. I mess up something sometimes, so I'm sorry about that. I hope it will be possible to listen. Consider liking and subscribing, and of course leave the comment if you want me to rank something else from this game, because I'm a huge fan of it. And I think I have a lot to say about weapons and abilities and stuff. So that's everything for today. See you in the next one. Peace.